What is up, you guys? Ryan back, another YouTube video today. We're talking more about Major League Baseball, and just yesterday, officially every team has announced their 60-man player pool. They all were forced to have them submitted by Sunday, I believe, but Monday morning, all of them were submitted. I was a little busy, so I wasn't able to get a video out, so I'm going to bring it to you today. Basically, I'm going to be showing you guys every single player pool for every team. Feel free to pause the video and check it out for yourself. I'm just going to highlight primarily the top prospects that are joining the pool. So basically, the player pool guys, these are the 60 guys that are going to be either playing for that club this year or practicing with them. So if you're not on this list, the minor league season was officially canceled today. MLB put out a post. So if you don't see someone on this list, unless someone gets hurt or things like that, they will not be doing any sorts of baseball this year on the books. So with that said, guys, we're going to go in alphabetical order. Like I said, feel free to pause the video. I'm going to try to go pretty quick because if I talk for 5 minutes for 30 teams, it's going to be a long video. So we're going to go as quick as we can. Feel free to pause and look at it yourself. But we're going to have all 30 teams on here. Again, highlighting the prospects that either surprisingly were on the list or were not on the list. So let's do it. First team up, guys, Atlanta Braves, 60-man pool. I don't think anything's really too surprising here. William Contreras is a top young catcher. He is Wilson Contreras' younger brother. He's getting brought up. Very happy to see Christian Pache and Drew Waters are on this pool list as well. Those are the two big outfielding prospects for the Braves. But there really wasn't anything too shocking. I'd say that Contreras was the most shocking thing on here. Other than that, pretty straightforward. It's going to be a very standard team to what we saw last year for the Braves with the addition of Marcell Ozuna and a couple other guys. I don't think Yonder Alonso was on the club last year either, but there's still a background on there, so it looks a little prettier for you guys. But next up, Arizona Diamondbacks. My squad, I'm a Diamondbacks fan. I really am okay with what they did. Nothing super crazy, but they did bring up a couple prospects, which I do enjoy. I am a huge fan of Pavin Smith. Alec Thomas is a younger guy. Andy Young's a younger guy. One surprising one is Geraldo Perdomo. They drafted him in 2019, so seeing him up was pretty quick. I know they're saying a lot of good things about him. And also Blake Walston. He was also drafted 2019. So those are some younger guys that they're bringing up. Very happy with what they're doing here. There wasn't any surprises, and no one left off the list that I was really disappointed about. But we did unfortunately get the news that Mike Leake was not going to be playing in the MLB season in 2020 because of family reasons. Next up, guys, and this is the most surprised I've been, is with the Baltimore Orioles. I think their pitching is fine. I don't have a problem with this. The Orioles, they're going to have a very similar team to last year. They're still rebuilding, but why on earth is Adley Rutschman not on this player pool? Again, it's probably for some control reasons. If I drafted someone in the first round in 2019 as the number one overall pick, I'm not sure I would want him to be sitting out for an entire year, not getting any professional work in. I'm sure he's going to be doing his own thing, and he's probably going to be fine, but I was very surprised to not see him on this list. Ryan Mountcastle is also not on this list. I don't know how I did not see that over. Dude hit 300 in AAA all last year. I don't know what they don't like in him. They absolutely do not show any love to Ryan Mountcastle. I think that dude can hit. I think the Orioles are just a bad organization right now, and they need to find new ownership, in my opinion. Let me know what you think. Okay, Boston Red Sox, guys. No Jeter Downs on the list. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think he's been in the minors long enough to where he could have either been brought up this year or for sure next year. I thought he'd be on this list to at least get work done with the team. A little disappointed in that, but other than that, you see all the big names on the Red Sox. Chicago Cubs, guys. Their farm system's not very great, to be honest. They have a couple good players. Brennan Davis made the list, and so did Braylon Marquez. Those are the two that stick out in my head. Miguel Amaya is another promising guy. So it looks like they brought up all their promising prospects. So, Chicago Cubs. All right, you guys. I hope you guys can see this one. This is my favorite farm system in the major leagues, the Chicago White Sox. So I had to look at this list for a little while to see what they were doing. I was pretty happy with it. Very happy with it, to be honest. My favorite guys are up. So we all know Luis Robert's going to be on the team this year. Eloy's been on the team. Moncada's been on the team. Nick Madrigal, one of the best second baseman prospects in my mind. He played shortstop in college. A lot of opportunities with him. He might end up playing shortstop over Tim Anderson because Tim Anderson makes a lot of errors. But I think they did a good job. The White Sox picked up a lot of guys in the offseason. They got some good pieces. So there's not a ton of room for these younger prospects on this list. But I was very happy with Nick Madrigal on this list, guys. He was the one person I was like, this guy needs to be on this list this year. I'm going to be upset. And he was. So happy about that. Chicago White Sox. All right, you guys, here we go. Cincinnati Reds. I'm not going to mention one player on this list because he's actually going to be in one of my minor league Monday videos coming up soon. So I'm not going to talk about him. We'll talk about him next week or the week after. But a couple prospects that are big prospects that they're bringing up. Jonathan India's up. Nick Lodolo's up. They just drafted Nick Lodolo with their first round pick last year in 2019. So a lot of hype surrounding his arm. He's a lefty pitcher. Happy to see that he's up. Reds also picked up a ton of guys this offseason. They're going to be looking to make the playoffs this year, 100%. Cleveland Indians, you guys, one big name on this list. Nolan Jones is going to be on the team this year. Will he be able to play? We do not know that. I'm not 100% sure what the plus signs next to their name are. But there is one next to his name. He is their number one hitting prospect. We also have Ethan Hankins, who is one of their top pitching prospects. The Indians have a decent farm system, but those are the two guys that really stand out, and they're going to be on the squad this year. Colorado Rockies, guys. Again, I do apologize for the ugliness of some of these papers. These guys definitely were not trained to produce good-looking paperwork. Nothing too crazy for the Colorado Rockies. Again, their farm system's a little iffy. Sam Hilliard will be on their team this year. I would say he's probably their best hitting prospect. Josh Fuentes is going to be in the player pool as well. He's a third baseman, so I'm kind of interested on what he's going to do, but he's also very good. So I don't know if he's going to move positions, if Nolan Arenado's going to move positions. I can't see that happening, but you never know. Maybe he's like, screw it, I'll play first base. But another ugly one here, guys, but I'll do my best to break it down for you. This is the Detroit Tigers. Tarek Skubal is making the team. Lefty pitcher. Will he play? We're not sure, but he's definitely, I think, MLB ready. And then the person I was extremely happy to see on this list, guys, Riley Green. One of my favorite prospects in the entire minor league system. He will be in the player pool for the Detroit Tigers. Very happy about that. At the time when this list was made, Spencer Torkelson was not signed. We just got word today that he signed for $8.1 million, a new signing bonus record. So I guess we'll see if he makes this list. I'm pretty sure they left a little bit of room on here. So we'll see if he ends up making the pool or not. But for right now, he's not on it. They haven't announced anything yet. We have the Astros, guys. I'd say the biggest names on here. They're giving Kyle Tucker potentially his first opportunity in the major leagues this year. I hope he is, at least. He really deserves it. He went 30-30 last year in the minors. And then we also have Abraham Toro made the team as well. He's a big infield prospect for them. The Astros, they might get beaned some this year. I don't think it'll be that bad because only a 60-game season. Can't really afford to potentially throw innings away. But they're going to compete, guys. They're going to have a good team again. They're probably going to make the postseason. I'd say most likely going to make the postseason. Kansas City Royals, guys. I'd say the biggest name on this list is Bobby Witt Jr. Second overall pick last year. Their first overall pick in the 2019 draft. He'll be in the player pool. I think he's the biggest name. We have Khalil Lee, also is a big name in their minor league system. But Bobby Witt Jr. making the player pool, I think it's a big deal. I like Bobby Witt Jr. He had a little bit of an underwhelming year last year. I think this is his year to really prove himself. So we'll see what they do with him in his player pool. I don't think we'll see him in the majors this year. I think he's just going to be getting some practice. Los Angeles Angels, guys. I think this is a big deal for baseball with multiple players announcing they're not going to be playing in the 2020 season, and I'll get to that as we get through those teams. Mike Trout's on the list. think. Gosh. I mean, I wouldn't blame him if he wasn't going to play, but for baseball, it's great. Mike Trout is on the roster this year. A couple of the big prospects they put on their pool. They have Jahmai Jones, and really that's kind of it. They don't really have anything too much. Griffin Canning, I think he might have saw some playing time last year. I cannot remember. If not, he's their biggest pitching prospect. Los Angeles Dodgers, or the Doyers, I like to call them, because I don't like when they win, because I'm a Diamondbacks fan. There's actually a couple pictures here, guys. This is their pitchers list. They decided to submit multiple pictures of this for some odd reason. Brusader Gratterall, who they got in the Alex Verdugo trade to Boston. He will be on this in this player pool along with Julio Urias. And then we have the position players, guys. Honestly, nothing really that surprising to me at all. Hybert Ruiz made the list. He's a top catching prospect for them. Same with Diego Cartaya. But then the only other name I really was happy to see on the list was DJ Peters, just because he's been hitting bomb after bomb in the minor leagues for them. So do I think he's going to succeed in the major league level? Probably not, but you never know. Miami Marlins, guys, very interesting team for the 2020 season. They did do some work in the offseason. They picked up a lot of veterans, basically, but with their young prospects that I'm focusing on, we have Jose Devers, Rafael Devers' brother. We have J.J. Bleday out of Vanderbilt. We have Jazz Chisholm, who they got from my D-back, sadly. I think he's going to be pretty solid. Gerard Encarnacion's on the list, too. I didn't even notice that the first time I saw it. So, very cool. Happy about that. I'm a big fan of his. We're going to move pretty quick through this one, guys. Honestly, it's the Milwaukee Brewers. They probably have the worst farm system in the MLB. I'm not excited about anybody in their farm system, so I'm just going to let you guys stare at this list if you want. This is another one, guys. They have multiple pictures for it. This is the Minnesota Twins. Royce Lewis did make this list. I didn't see his name at first because there was two pictures, so I thought they left him off. Alex Kirilloff is also on the list, as well as Trevor Larnach and Brent Rooker. So those are pretty much their biggest prospects. So happy to see them on the squad. I think the Twins are definitely a team to watch for this year, guys. I think they make a lot of noise, especially with the acquisition of Josh Donaldson. We'll see how he performs in Minnesota. He loves hitting in that field. The New York Mets, pretty standard. They did pick up Rick Porcello, Dellin Betances. They have a good team. Will they perform like they should? We never know. The Mets always seem to underperform, and it gives me life, guys. Sorry, Mets fans. It gives me life. But we do have their top shortstop prospect, Andres Jimenez. I thought maybe we're going to see Ronnie Mauricio on this list, but I don't see him, so I guess he's not on it. Andres Jimenez, pretty much the only big one worth talking about. Clark Schmidt is on the team. We figured that was going to happen. Jordan Montgomery off of injury back in the pool. Delvi Garcia made the team, or the pool, I should say, which is a big one for them. And we also have Estevan Florial and Clint Frazier. So I'd say those are the big ones. Oakland Athletics, guys, they're going to have a very similar team from last year, but we do have a couple new guys that are going to be on the team this year and even play. We have AJ Puck, Jesus Luzardo. They brought up Jorge Mateo, or I shouldn't say brought with. And then the last one I wanted to talk about was Sheldon Neuse. Philadelphia Phillies, guys, two people we got to talk about real quick. Spencer Howard and Alec Baum both made the team. Two biggest prospects, both pitching and hitting for them. Very excited to see if they end up playing this year or just practicing once again. I really think both of them could see some action this year. Pittsburgh Pirates, they brought up the likes of Ke'Bryan Hayes, who is their number one overall prospect. Cole Tucker's up again this year, or at least in the pool. I was pretty disappointed, though. O'Neal Cruz, he's my favorite prospect in their system. He's a 6'7" shortstop. Was in Double-A last year. I'm a little disappointed he's not in this pool, to be honest. I definitely think he deserves a shot. What people think is the best farm system in the minor leagues, and I'm right there with them. I like them and the White Sox the most. The San Diego Padres, they brought up Luis Patino, Mackenzie Gore, their two biggest pitching prospects. They brought up Ryan Weathers, who's another big one. They brought up everyone. They brought up CJ Abrams, guys. They brought up Taylor Trammell. I like what they're doing. They're making sure their young guys that are trying to form for the future are getting work with the team, and I think it's a really good idea. I think they're the only team really that have done it. They brought up literally almost everyone I could have thought in their gigantic farm system that was like, this guy's the future. They're on this list. So, props to you, Padres. Golf clap. Brought them all up. All right, guys. Seattle Mariners. We're going to scroll through this one. This is their 40-man. Feel free to pause where you want. Nothing out of the ordinary for their 40-man roster. And Evan White is another one I'd say is worth noting. He's going to be their potential first baseman this year. Daniel Vogelbach might move to DH. Evan White and Kyle Lewis being on the team. And then this is their non-roster invitees, guys. And the two big names we had to include here are at the bottom. They brought up Jarred Kelenic and they brought up Julio Rodriguez. So they're bringing them with them to practice. And those are the two biggest prospects in my mind that could be superstars in the league. San Francisco Giants, guys. Another team that's going to be pretty similar to last year's squad. We got a couple non-roster invites I wanted to focus on, though. We have Joey Bart. We have Marco Luciano, Billy Hamilton. But Luciano and Bart are the two I wanted to focus on the most. Those are, again, two prospects that could be stars in this league. St. Louis Cardinals, guys. Dylan Carlson's about the only one to really be excited about. He's going to be on the team this year. He was pretty much their number one height prospect. Switch hitting outfielder. Very, very good. Hits for power. Does just about everything. So look for him. Watch his cards even if you're a collector. He's definitely one to watch for. He might take the league by storm if he gets hot. So I didn't even realize Matt Wieters played on the Cardinals. I didn't even realize Matt Wieters was still in the league. So there's that to note too, if you're excited about old people. Tampa Bay Rays. We have multiple pictures here, guys. So here is their 40-man roster. They only have 37 people on it, so they left a little bit of room. They have Yoshi Tsutsugo. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's the guy they picked up from Japan. What they said, the Port Charlotte roster. So these are going to be the non-roster guys. So these are their big prospects. Wander Franco, Vidal Brujan. The Rays have an amazing farm system. They're right up there with the White Sox and the Padres. Shane McClanahan's a beast. Taylor Walls is underrated. Josh Lowe's not bad. But Wander Franco, Vidal Brujan, definitely the two big ones. Ronaldo Hernandez is pretty good too. He's their catching prospect. Toronto Blue Jays, guys. Nothing out of the ordinary, I would say. Their farm system's okay at best. It's nice to see them bringing Nate Pearson. He should be on the team this year. We'll see if they put him on the opening day roster or not, but nothing too surprising other than Nate Pearson. He's their biggest prospect. Jordan Groshans is actually another big one too. I kind of forgot to mention him for a second because he got hurt last year in the minors, so it's cool to see him up. Texas Rangers, you guys. There's their pitchers right here. The Rangers also don't have the best farm system in the world. I'm honestly not super pumped about them as a farm, but they have a couple good players. Sam Huff will be in the player pool, who's their biggest catching prospect, who's very promising, along with Josh Young, who some people think he's going to be a superstar. He was very good in college, so we'll see if he can pan out, but those are the two biggest prospects. Leody Taveras is also going to be up, as well as Eli White, are a couple of their bigger prospects. Washington Nationals, guys. This is what originally was their roster. I'll actually go over here on the right side so you guys can see it by position. But unfortunately, Ryan Zimmerman and Joe Ross are not going to be playing this year for family reasons from the quarantine and such, so got to respect their decisions. They did, in fact, bring up Luis Garcia, who's their number one infield prospect. Carter Kaboom made the list. Well, guys, that's all 60 player pools. I just wanted to put it out there. I know it's not my typical content, But for someone that is huge about the minor leagues and prospects, I thought this was a necessary video just to kind of highlight players that could potentially see playing time, but will for sure be doing work this season, which I think is the most important thing with the club. So if you guys like this video, if you found it helpful, please give me a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to my channel, check me out on Twitch, and you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya!